book tour time, library tour. You want to see everything? Okay, these are my shelves. People always ask where I bought them. They were built into my home. So I can't tell you where to buy them. This is my high fantasy column, and I just have it arranged alphabetically by author. Actually, the top shelf is more historic fiction and historic fantasy, like fantasy realism. And then here we start with Abercrombie. We go through Cahill, Carrick, Chakraborty. It's all alphabetical of my high fantasy. So I love The First Law, Bound and the Broken. These are like mid-tier, I would say, for me. This is disputable because is she YA? We don't know, but I feel like she's adult. So we go down through here. I'm missing The Will of the Many right now. My brother has it, so its place is right here. This is where it lives. I've actually read pretty much all of this at this point. I have not read The Grace of Kings yet. That's coming later this year. Here's my Harry Potter, which I realize is also YA, but I keep it with my Bibles. Manacled. Kristen and I each have a copy of this. I bound this for us for Christmas because this was our foray into fan fiction, and we love it. It lives with Harry Potter, obviously. And then we got some Brandon Sanderson. I read all of this so far. Some V.E. Schwab. This is not my favorite series, but I want to love it. But it's just mid-tier for me. Priory I love. Obviously, Lord of the Rings. These editions are pride and joy. M.L. Wong. We can do no wrong with M.L. Wong. She's a fave. Top book of the year. Probably in my top 5 of all time. This is a series, a little duology that I don't see talked about much, and I think it's hit or miss for people, but I really enjoyed this. It's a duology, and one book talks about one sister and the other book talks about another, and obviously we're big into sister bonds over here, so I really enjoyed it, and I just got this special edition, and these are beautiful. They're like cloth bound. They have foiling on them. Very pretty. And then the Burning series here, unfinished, by Evan Winter. So that's like the adult fantasy column and the fantasy realism column. And then over here, I do share my library with my husband. So he is a big nonfiction history reader. The top 2 shelves are his collection, and I couldn't tell you how he has them arranged. I don't know what his system is. I have read none of these books. Over here is my little itty bitty YA shelf. So we got our Leigh Bardugo here, Holly Black. This is a beautiful little trilogy. I read none of the other books in the Shadowhunters world. I don't think I ever will, but I did love this trilogy. And of course, The Legendborn. And this is, again, a series that's not really for everyone, but I really liked it. I love Dark Academia. And then we have and then down here we have what's left of my fantasy romance section, and these are the books that really got me back into heavily reading as an adult, so they will always hold a special place in my heart. But I don't really read a lot of romantic fantasy anymore, but I have all of Caressa Broadbent's books here. I really, really enjoyed reading her books when I got back into reading. Silver Under Nightfall, The Crimson Moth, Sarah J. Maas's books here and here. I don't recommend this series so much, but I did read it. And we've got some Amber Nicole here. This is some indie published stuff, like Chloe Panoranda did the Air Comes to Rise series, and I really enjoyed that, and these special editions are beautiful. So this is where I go for recs on fantasy romance. These are the ones that still hold a special place in my heart. And then on this side, I have probably one of my favorite sections on the shelf, to be honest. This is my urban dark fantasy that's pretty much all secret society / dark academia. It's like the creepy. It's like where urban fantasy meets thrillers, dark, all of that. And I love the whole vibe of all that. It's like my Olivia Blake, my V.E. Schwab, some Leigh Bardugo. It's great. Oh yeah, and some Adrienne Young. Well, I think basically every book on that shelf is a 5-star for me. Although I have not yet read Ninth House and Hellbent. But that's it's the top tier shelf. Okay, here's my literary fiction and contemporary romance shelf. It's a hodgepodge because I don't read a lot of this stuff, but if it's made it onto this shelf, I probably really like it. And then the pièce de résistance is my sci-fi shelf. I have a very soft spot in my life for sci-fi. This is our signed copy of Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I also have a special edition sprayed edge copy of Red Rising. This is my favorite series. We have some Orson Scott Card. This is all the Enderverse, some Becky Chambers, Ready Player One, which I love to recommend to everyone. My husband and I are currently reading The Expanse, so there's books missing from here, but we love The Expanse. Dune, forever and ever. This is my beloved tabbed copy that I wrote our Dune guide from. We just read the Silo series, and that was pretty good, pretty solid. This we read a long time ago. I wonder on a reread if this will hold up. These are new editions. Loved both of these books. I am currently reading this series. My Howling Dark is in the mail. This is an amazing book. Just came out this summer. This is a techno thriller, and it's a debut novel that kicks ass. And then we got our Andy Weir over here. I haven't started this series yet. And to be honest, I haven't read all these yet. And then this is like a weird gonna read it soon situation, and like books I borrowed from people, like these are both from my dad. Haven't read them yet. Some Agatha Christie. Kristen really wants me to read Man's Search for Meaning. Piranesi is up next on my TBR. This book I'm always on the fence about. Not sure. I just read Agrippina Needs to Go Back to the Library. So this is my husband's. This is what I'm currently reading. Oh, and there's more currently reading over here. This is where we film, me and Kristen. So, you know. I'm currently reading Ship of Magic. And I'm going to read Picture of Dorian Gray in September, and I'm reading Stay True. Little lit fic action here. I'm in the middle of a lot of stuff, okay? And then, I don't know what's over here, to be honest with you. This is a Kindle. Oh, yeah. Okay, these are, Lord, like memoirs, plus Master and Commander and Beowulf, which have nothing to do with anything, and then our Iliad, Odyssey, Hemingway, and Sherlock Holmes. It's just like a hodgepodge of stuff my husband loves, pretty much. And we're running out of room on our shelves. We need to start double stacking. Should we talk about the art?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is my favorite art in the room. This is the Gryffindor Common Room. We got this off of Etsy. This is by a Australian artist named Monique Fedor, and this ship captain, he's just my favorite. I love him. This is a beautiful screen print that we got in Edinburgh by a screen printer who hosted us in her Airbnb, and Edinburgh is our favorite place in the whole world. So that lives there. And then this is Gandalf the Grey. He's from Etsy. This is a print that reminds us of Lothlorien, so it lives here. But I think it's truly just a print of something. It's not supposed to be Lothlorien, we just pretend it is. And this is a map of the journey they take to Smaug in The Hobbit. And these are the dwarves and Bilbo and Gandalf in Bagshot Row before they go on their adventure. So, love it. Thank you for coming on a tour of the Common Room. This is where all of the magic in my life happens, and this is where we film all of our content for you guys, and also where we read and where all the books live. The only thing this room is missing is a disguised mini fridge of some kind and an espresso machine, and then we would be set. But you know, we can't have everything.